And we're back, and we're again having way too much fun. And here's my shameless plug. This is going to be the Aquasonic Wave Jewelry Cleaner box that contains all the names of the people who entered our contest. And we want to thank you all for participating in it. It went really well. We've got a lot of new likes and Facebook shares and YouTube subscriptions. So we really appreciate everyone jumping in. This is a $100 gift card, correct? With Visa gift card?
Yes, Visa gift card.
All right. And Rachel is going to do the honors of
holding it for Justin, who's going to do the honors.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
Choosing the name.
Ruffle them around a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope it's mine. All right.
Michelle Crawl. Baby! We're going out to dinner tonight.
See, you knew this was going to happen when he was going to pick it.
No. Lisa Calabro.
Lisa Calabro won. Woo!
Do we know who she is?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, wow. All right.
She is a kitchen designer.
Nice.
Well,
she does a great job, and now she has a $100 Visa gift card to do whatever she wants with it.
Sweet.
Congratulations, Lisa. I will bring that to you on Thursday.
That's very sweet of you.
Bring it to her.
She's in my B&I.
Cut it out.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was fun. And again, thanks everyone for joining or for signing up for that. Now we want to answer a question, actually a very good one that we received this week. And so, Rachel, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, we actually got one from Maryland, believe it or not.
Okay.
Julie from Maryland says that she inherited a box of jewelry from her grandmother. A lot of it looks like costume jewelry. Should she just keep a few pieces for sentimental value, or should she bring it to a jeweler?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What? I don't get the question.
In other words, she's got a big box of jewelry.
Yeah.
And she's wondering if she, I guess really kind of wondering if you should bring it to a jeweler to maybe have it looked through to see if there's any really good stuff in it. Because, and we know all about that.
Well, of course. I mean.
But a lot of people don't do it. Yeah. You know, she's not sure. But go ahead. Why don't you? I mean, we do a lot of the buying events. Tell us.
Well, I'll tell you. There was. I'll give you an example. I had a customer come in who had 6 banana boxes filled with costume jewelry, and she was so apologetic. It was unbelievable. She kept saying, "I'm sorry, and it's no problem for me. I was going through every piece. I enjoy doing it, so it's it's my job. I like doing that. So I was going through it." It was all costume jewelry, so I recommended to her that she, maybe have a yard sale or something like that, and so I went through the first box, second box, third box, and it was all the same story, and she was just so sorry that she was putting me through this, and I kept telling her it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And I got to the 6th box, and inside that box was a little box that had, I think it was $3,500 worth of jewelry that we offered her, and she ended up selling. But yeah, she was just about to donate it all.
Right.
And so if the question is, should you, because she had should I keep a few pieces? Well, that if you like them, absolutely keep them. Right. But the rest of it, don't throw it away.
Right.
Bring it in. We bring it to your local jeweler, or if you're local to us, bring it in and come see us.
Just to be sure, you don't want to. I mean, I've heard crazy stories of people going into Goodwill or places like that and finding gold, or someone found $1,000 stuffed in a shoe before. Yep. And that's what happens because they don't realize what they're donating all the time.
Those places now are very smart as to what's being donated in jewelry. They keep it for themselves. Essentially, either the employee does it or the company themselves keeps it, and they work with a refinery to get the most out of the gold. But people donate gold and real jewelry to these places all the time.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you hear the stories of people who go to yard sales for 25 cents and buy a little brooch or something, and it turns out to be an antique diamond pin worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Always double check. Just double check.
Yeah. No, that really was a good question then, because that is something that I could see happening. and that we've seen through our experiences of people bringing in, they always apologize, like you said, they always apologize first when they bring the pieces in, and they say, but there's probably nothing in here, it's not worth it, blah 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 blah, and it always ends up being hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
You know what's funny in our business? What people think is generally worthless tends to be worth a lot more, and worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, what people think is generally so valuable typically isn't as valuable as they think. It's really funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of surprises. All right, so I'm excited about this next segment. That was a great question. Thank you very much for sending it in. Our next segment, we're going to be talking about the World Series Cubs ring, which looks really amazing. It's a fantastic piece of work, really. And there's a lot of history built into it, and we've got some notes here about some of the representations of what everything, the number of diamonds that are in it have some certain. Oh, there it is.
Who made it?
Jostens.
They did.
Yeah, this is the same company that makes class rings, but when it comes to, I think they do them all. I think they do the baseball, football, hockey.
They're the best at it. They've been doing it forever.
Yeah, and these rings are spectacular.
Now, could you make that better?
That is not made with a casting process or anything that we could do here. It's done with a whole different process. They actually make metal molds, and that's why you get that deep detail that's in between the letters and all that, and it's so crisp and clean. Yeah, you have to have a special machine that's going to stamp that into a solid piece of gold as opposed to casting it. You cast it would never come out looking like that.
Even handmade, we couldn't do it?
Not with the level of detail. No, because even if you hand make it, you still got to cast it eventually, right? And it just won't work. I tried. That's why I know.
Got ya. Okay.
Yeah, did some research on it, but isn't that beautiful? Now, just a couple of things. There's 108 diamonds in the logo, one for each year between the championships. So that was quite a while for them. 108 years. The ring contains 214 diamonds, 5.5 carats total weight. That looks about right. You got some rubies, you got some sapphires in there. But you know what? Oh, and let's see. The master jeweler says there were at least 200 to 300 conceptual drawings before they decided on which one they wanted to go with, which I can understand that. I mean, can you imagine all the different designs you could come up with for that? And I think they did a good job doing it the way they did. But here's the thing that I find most interesting of all. Look at the size of that thing. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yep. When you go and they hand you your World Series ring, so if you're on the team or you're on the coach or whatever, they say, well, we need you to give us $1 before we can give you the ring. And we want you to sign this little piece of paper. They want them to sign it and take the ring out on memo. And they want compensation. They have to have some kind of exchange to make it legal. So they make them pay $1. They have to sign this form, and the form says, this is your ring and you own it, but if you ever decide that you want to sell it, you have to call us first, and we have to have first option on it.
And I read that if that's the case, then they buy it back for $1.
Yeah, but I see pre-owned, Super Bowl rings out there in the secondary market all the time.
Well, you do, and that's what they don't want to see happen. They don't want their players giving these rings or selling these rings for money. You can give it to a family member. You can pass it down to someone within your family.
And can the family member then sell it?
Nope, because the contract goes with the ring.
Lawyers might have something to say about that.
Well, that's why they're doing it the way they're doing it. They're making you paying that $1
I don't
makes
think
it
that's
a legit
right,
deal.
though.
Well, that's what I say. That's what I say.
Their ring, I mean, they won the World Series.
Exactly.
Right.
They deserve it.
They do. But they're not allowed. They don't want them being just taken and sold off as souvenirs or whatever, for profit. Because to some people, World Series ring, it doesn't mean anything to them. They don't care.
I wonder if it's enforced, though.
Well, we'll find out, I think. We'll start to see if we ever see any of these rings come up for sale.
Well, we do. That's the thing.
No, this is this particular ring.
Oh, so all the other Super Bowl rings and World Series rings don't have the same contract?
Something new. This is something new that they're doing. So that's why you will see the old ones out there. But going forward, and it's not just for football or baseball, they're doing it for football and they're doing it for the other teams as well. They don't want to, spend all this money, and I think it costs like $50,000 a ring for them to make those up. And then a player, especially a very famous player, could then take it and say, well, that's my personal ring because their name's on it. They could get $500,000 or $1 million for it the next day.
And they should be able to.
Well, they should, maybe.
You know, someone's paying for it up front. If Jostens thinks it's worth so much more money and they don't want anyone to have a part in it, then charge more.
Oh, it's not Justin's that's doing it. It's a team. The owners of the team that are doing it.
Because they don't want their players to make money?
Well, they're paying them penny, I'm sure.
What's the point of it?
They don't want these rings to be just floating around, people wearing them that aren't part of the team, that aren't part of the group. They don't want them to be just collectible items for people to buy and sell and trade, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
That's called the free market. I mean,
Also, the staff that don't make a ton of money.
oh, that's true. Yeah, they were just saying that the staff also receives rings as well. Not the big ones like this one, but they get smaller versions of it. And then there's a lot of people that work there, and maybe they get fired, or they leave a year later, and then that's the end of it, and then they want to get rid of the ring. So that's probably what it is, because I think they're giving out 1,900 rings altogether to everyone that's involved in the organization. But that's the deal. They don't want them getting them and then just selling them off.
yeah.
For instance, for us, people will get a Rolex watch for a gift. A sales, they make a sales goal. They get a
buy
Rolex
'em all the
watch.
time.
Exactly, see? And the people get the watch, and the people who give it to them say, oh, here's something, we're really proud of what you did, and thank you very much, and think they're going to wear the watch for the rest of their lives, and 5 minutes later they take it to us.
Right.
Right, and we
cash
love
it out.
that. We don't.
Oh, of course, it's great for us. Yeah.
But we don't think
and
it's
how does
wrong
the company
of them.
suffer?
Well, they don't. I think but the intent was, they think when they give the watch that they're doing something good for the employee, and they're going to really enjoy it and love it. And
Yeah, they're
totally
giving them
wrong.
some cash.
Well, they should. Then they should just write them a check, is what I'm saying.
Oh, come on.
Well, but anyway, that I thought was probably one of the most interesting aspects of this ring, aside from the fact that it is just absolutely gorgeous. And but you can buy your own ring and keep it for life for $299. Nice replica.
Yeah, probably pewter.
If you're
Right.
lucky for $299, you're lucky if it's even that.
Pewter, CZ,
CZ, synthetic, ruby,
plastic, not even synthetic.
and glass or
ruby.
plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
$10,000 record.
Yeah.
How much, Dana? 10,000?
Well, and there's $10,000. You can get real ones too, but again, nothing
you
like.
can buy them for 10 grand?
But it won't have anybody's name. Won't have your. I don't think it'll have your name on it. They're not going to put your name on it.
I don't think so.
No. But that's half the fun of it, is you get your name on there and on one side and everything else. So
Right.
that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
All right. Well, again, another great segment, another great show that we wrapped up today. And that interview with Danielle was a lot of fun. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. And hopefully look forward to seeing her if she comes out to the East Coast and visits during the summer. It'd be neat to meet her in person and take a look at more of her jewelry collection.
Who are we going to have on next?
Well, I don't know, Justin. Who would you like to have?
I think we're having the cruise ship.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, good point. Thank you. We had talked about and asked for people to send us information about being ripped off on cruises. And what happened was we received information from a woman who had just recently come back from a cruise and spent a significant amount of money, and I'm talking over $10,000 on some jewelry that turned out to be not even close in value to what she paid for it. Very, very scary.
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all, what they did to her. And it's really starting to upset me. It has for years. This goes on all the time.
Right.
And we're going to expose this to everyone. And I hope that we can get, some national exposure as a result of this, because people are getting ripped off to tens of millions of dollars a year in probably one of the biggest jewelry scams that I've ever seen in my life.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So next week, we'll be starting those segments. You'll get to meet this woman and hear her story, and she'll tell you exactly how they do it. It's very interesting how they put you through this whole process, and you're going to be completely and totally fascinated by the whole thing.
And disgusted.
Well, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, everyone, thank you very much again for joining us this week, and we look forward to seeing you again Sunday at 12:30.